Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's very nice to see you once again here on this Sunday. So we have a limited time. So before I share the presentations, may I set the agenda for today's discussion? So what I would do, I would share a few slides in a while with regard to the presentation per se. Then also we have invited Dr. Ravi Bamnusinghe on two grounds. One is that on the conference day, in terms of the session 3, that is 1:30 to 3:15 session, he's a session chair. So that he would like to share a few thoughts in that angle. But in addition, in the technical committee, he has played a major role. More than that, on a personal note, I can say that as a legendary market researcher figure who has transformed many companies and worked with multiple senior level strategic and entrepreneurial SME development figure, I'm sure his insights are invaluable for this fine-tuning process of our the entire process. So that I would invite Dr. Ravi at the latter stage to share a few thoughts. Then of course you can ask few questions. So we want to strictly line up within this 60 minutes. So by 5:15 we want to wind up the session. That's maximum. Well, once again, from a CPM point of view, apart from what Mr. Dilshan said, may I say that congratulations for your wonderful achievement. So now you are in the best management practices company awards, the excellence category. So the 6 company representatives are here. That's a remarkable achievement, and we are going to set a new kind of say a wavelength in the field of management discussions and applications. Having said that, now if we come to the central point here is that now you are in the spotlight, because unlike any other award ceremonies, particularly the distinct feature of this particular exercise is that, friends, after your synopsis and after your technical evaluation of the presentation and questions, now here there is a forum. The forum, other than the large audience, there's a fresh panel. So about let's say 5 to 7 very senior figure members from diverse sectors. They are from diverse sectors. It's not necessarily attached to the corporate, from diverse sectors. Definitely they are not having a direct attachment to these companies, are going to look at the same oral presentation evaluation criteria, but in a fresh angle. So they have not gone through your synopsis. They have not gone through your first presentation. The earlier you have done only 10 minutes. Now it's 15 minutes, and it's a large audience. And when you are doing that, so that we are not going to give a lot of narrations other than Dr. Ravi's some synthesis kind of brief remarks. So you are having say a period of 15 minutes, where 13 minutes after that you can see that visibly there are 2 more minutes, and 15 minutes you need to showcase that. But within that, I would say with due respect, we are not undervaluing, with due respect of what you have done during the oral presentation. So if you do the same thing, I would see that there is a kind of a challenge. That because, friends, we have looked at objectively your synopsis and the presentations, but when it comes to a showcasing that as a best management practices in a larger audience or in a major spotlight event, we need a little bit more fine-tuning. So therefore, we are here not to teach, but to share some thoughts. So you need to strictly follow them, because in some cases we show that even some, I would say, high-class respected people have wasted the time, like looking here and there, just telling basic points, just explaining activities and activities as practices, like that they are out of certain focal areas of given structure, and not managing that 10 minutes properly, and the slides are cluttered and the points are not visible, like that. There are instances of that nature. So that having said that, let me take your permission to share this a very brief presentation, and then we'll start the conversation. So friends, we want to make a request. First of all, since we want to make the consistency at the conference, this soon after this briefing, Mr. Dilshan would send you this presentation, about 6-7 slides. You don't need to write anything, but you can jot down any points. So at least cover page you should use. All the other color, pampered look you can use, but with regard to the cover page, please use that Best Management Practices Company Awards 2022 heading. Back to business in the new normal, that's the heading. So you can even you have the freedom of making the presentation party names and photos visible in the cover page. That is required. So generally you have a flexibility of using 3 main members who can do the presentation, not necessarily your chairman, but or a MD also, but take someone who can play the lead role as well as those who have actively involved. So ideally 3 members, but always one would lead. So that means as far as the panel is concerned, at 1:30 after lunch, along with Dr. Bhavnu Singh, those 6 key representatives would be taking their seats at the main stage. But the other 2 members, when they are starting according to the alphabetical load, as you know by now, these 6 companies are going through alphabetical load. Based on that, say other 2 members can come to the stage along with your key person. So that's the background, but insert your company logo. So this cover slide, we would say you are compelled to use that. Right. Now, after that, we want to tell this story, very simple. Now, as you know, you have a company that is irrespective of the level you have been experiencing like any other corporate sector company. So when it comes to 2020 and 2021, there also emerged situation. So we know all that. So in such situation, of course, companies have taken a lot of steps as practices. So as we have defined at the technical ones also, best practice means it's all about effective and practical. Effective means goal directed. Practical means looking at the addressing of the performance gap of the required level or the desired level and the current level. So in that sense, can be a one practice, so combination of practices. But the point here is with regard to showcasing, probably you need to select, as we have indicated in the synopsis also, one distinct one or probably 2. So therefore, friends, we want to now get your story clearly aligned to the assessment, that is presentation assessment. Otherwise, these judging members can't identify the rhythm, the flow. So therefore, friends, you need to very clearly manage your 15 minutes. The first one is what? The company introduction. So this red color area you can remove, this slide you can remove, but the concept should be adopted. That means make it simple, colorful, pictorial, current stand in the industry, size, operation, in brief. Don't take much time on giving a big say about the company, but you can, with the glamour, you can present the company. So that's an opening, right? Then the next thing is what? Emerge situation. Of course, during 2020 and 2021, what has happened? So no need to explain all the lockdown, this and that, but the point here is get your COVID hit, lockdown, critical challenges in operations, very brief. If possible, pictorial, simple graph, or that your business down. Some companies, we saw that presentation has very clearly articulated the gap. Some have taken 4-5 minutes to explain about the COVID, not required. So emerge situation. Then company, there was the process, the happening operations, emerge situation. So it's definitely challenging. We know that. So then in such situation, friends, we need to have what is the best management practice you like to articulate. So we have given this red color narration, which you can take it off, identify a maximum of 2. So here we would compel you to select at least 1 or 2. 1 or 2 best practices that has triggered the transformation of the company performance. You may have so many practices, HR, operations, market, and so on. And describe its key features, why one should know about this practice. So therefore, friends, like when it comes to from the emerged situation, you are now going to get a bit of a concept, theory. But are we emphasizing you about many minutes? No. Within shortest possible period, you can manage it. Tell that this is the practice, or these 2 practices. Among many practices, these are the 2. Now, whatever you have presented early, you can tweak, rearrange. You can get, so why one should know about this? What is this practice? That show that boundary of that practice. So then I will give an example. In one company, in the synopsis, they have given about, let's say, 6 practices. Then I ask a common question at the technical evaluation from all the companies from an outside in point of view. It's a common question. You may remember that he asked, why do you think that this practice should be showcased? So what is the topmost practice you like to highlight? Then the answer very interestingly, the first practice narrated very well, second, third. Then once we ask a question from that senior representative of the company, our best practice is this. When according to the synopsis list, that is in the number 5. So if it is your topmost practice, it should be number 1 and number 2, like that. But according to the list, so that means what, friends? We have so much of activities, so doing a lot of cluttered areas, but we don't know what is our exact practice. So here, best management practice means you need to come out with a distinct 1 or 2, very clearly articulate, that is required. Now, then either so what, like this is what they have done, this is what they triggered the company in that emerged situation. Now, friends, the next most vital area, because see the marking scheme, where the marks come, next one, how that practice has helped to bring back to business, bringing back to the business. So how you have executed, show how you have done it in that context. Clearly and pictorially established slides required. In that, through that practice, how did you do it? You can distinctly provoke the audience about what you have done, the execution. And it should not be just activities of having PCR test, testing, doing like that, the very mundane routine, because everyone has done that. We are not undervaluing, but make it a case, make it a story. How those practices have helped. Now, if, for an example, if someone is talking about your operational, one of the special practices, then show that how your operational practices have been revamped, restructured, realigned, getting into the spectrum. If someone is talking about, let's say, high-end term like business process reengineering, they might talk about that, but the practice distinct features are not in the execution process. If someone is talking about the resilient, lean, agile kind of a practice, so then those should be replicated in the process of transformation, process of execution, process of getting those features into action. That is required. Then output and outcome and the sustainability. So what the audience would like to listen, oh, right, now you may have show your results. So very clearly how the other awards have been recognized of what you have done, if it is available. Need numbers, how you are going to sustain, how you are going to keep it. So what are the other steps you are taking to take this into the next level, or even a more robust, resilient level? So how to take it to the next level? So that's what the output, outcome, the measurable and qualitative, and of course sustaining. So this kind of a flow is clearly required. In that sense, I know one company I remember from one section to the other section, the clear bridging slides were there and connecting from one to the other. That sort of distinction is required. And of course, finally, now that is a presentation per se, but we have added some points. Let me very quickly finish those also. with regard to the slides, because you are showing this at the cinnamon grand in a larger screen. Even though the screen is big, but you need to be focused, conscious about your slides. There should be a PowerPoint. So the big, bright, bold, and font size at least a topic heading like 44, at least subheadings 32. It should not be like small letters where back audience members can't see. At least minimum contents in a slide, not much cluttered, so many points. Pictorial, controllable animation. In some cases, animation comes by taking a lot of time. So when you press, one can't, like, it takes a lot of time, so that audience is being distracted and unnecessarily time consuming of your 15 minutes. It's invaluable time, because it's a time counter there. You have to stop whether you like or not. So balance 3 members role. So that means here balance means balance 3 members role well. So since we have 15 minutes, I remember one company. So after starting of the presentation, I'm just telling openly, it says, okay, what we should do now, right? Shall I start or you would start? So then it shows that they are not ready, they are not in line. So then handing over, or the other person connecting. So there should be a clear marked execution in that. So no printouts for the panel, not required. Don't bring printouts, books, and some other out of the box requirements, not applicable in this context, because while you can have your all members in the audience, but other than the 3 presentation party, others should not come to the panel and give some books and additional mementos and so not required. So then exceeding time is a minus mark. So after 13 minutes, you can see that the clear time counter there. So you may plan to the finish, the time count is visible so that you can easily plan. And of course, make the presentation vibrant and passionate, because this is the audience and this is after lunch. So whoever that A, B, C, D, E alphabetical order, you have a role to play. Then one leads, slide change with the leader. So in this case, since from a COVID point of view, is that all 3 can't handle a slide change. I presume that other than your clip-on mics, where the slide change is one leading person. So you have to be mindful and how it works and it flows and shifting or moving from one slide to the other. Some other points for the presenters, I have added a few more points. Friends, not to forget that the fresh panel will assess your presentation. So we have looked at your synopsis, we have looked at your the technical presentation. Now that's why you are in the excellence category. You will be awarded based on that, so you know it. But this is a different experience, different excitement, so that you have to maintain that enthusiasm from outside in point of view, so that strictly follow the given format. So these areas, company, there's a situation, you have come out with the practice 1 or 2. Then among the team, you can agree on the core area, the core practices we should highlight 1 or 2. Then that has executed, then executed and connected. That has given you a lot of results, output, qualitative impact, outcome. That has taken to the sustainable level of next, and you are continuing it, or some other initiatives. So that's it. So then just keeping a slide and talking for 6-7 minutes would be a minus feature. I want to tell you that sometimes veterans, like even in those who are in the education field, we think that they are the veterans, they know in and out. But we have seen in some presentations, there was a model, one speaker talks nearly about 6-7 minutes about the model. So the slide is there, the person is keep on talking, keep on talking, keep on talking. It's a distraction factor even in that virtual setting. So you need to connect to the slides. If you are talking, if you are bringing a point, that should be connected to the slide. So here it's not like kind of a Toastmastering kind of experience. No, this is about a distinct content, rich content practice for learning purpose of others. So then while you are being recognized, you can make a point. This is a national value creation process. because thereby you are supporting to the industry, you are supporting to other companies to look at that. So that's a fascinating thing. And we want to thank you for coming forward. But at the same time, now you have to show it and put it into the driving seat. So give focus to the marking dimensions, your presentation order, marking order, same. So that if you shuffle it, like if you are having if you are trying to find out the before the out of the box, if you can't find out where is the box, then problem, because the panelists have the given box. You have also a given box. You can do it creatively, but within those parameters. They will not search and find answers. So they are, I think they don't have a clarity of this order, because other companies, for an example, we are giving this cover slide. So cover slide should be same with everyone. But inside that, company color, any other adjustments, you can do that. Not a problem. Only the cover slide we want to maintain the consistency. But each company would be assessing individually. So therefore, the moment you divert from the given structure, but the panelists would realize. Because we are also briefing that, we are saying that these are the areas you are looking at, they are looking at, one should look at. So then I think this company has deviated, they are not, seems to be in order. Like, don't allow that question to be asked. And even the one should not ask how these companies actually have come to this top 6, because they are making a very basic presentation. That should not be the kind of a point one should make. So large audience, rich and structured content, and healthy balance. Conduct are critical. Your body language, your dress code, how you tackle, how you are looking at. So how you are looking front and comfortably talk, not reading out slides by any chance. Use the pointer. All that is a part of the exercise, unlike virtual. So finally, get your team members with you to celebrate your success. That's a different story. You can invite your company people to come and see our success story. You are being awarded because you are now in the in the top category. They are all other pampering, supporting factors. It's up to you. So friends, with that, let me conclude this presentation part, and let me stop sharing that. And may I invite Dr. Bamun Singh to share a few thoughts. After that, we'll, so Dr. Bamun Singh probably would in the first round take in a brief some of the complementary points, and then we can open up for your questions and answers. Over to you, Dr. Bamun Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Ratnayaka. Actually, I think you explained it well to everybody, so there is no nothing much for me to comment. But the point that I wanted to emphasize is that first of all, you need to ask why the audience are attending this event, right? Because they attend this event for them to, I am 100% sure it is not for entertainment, like a musical show. They are attending this to have certain things, learnings, to take back to their respective companies and to implement and practice. So therefore, your presentation should have some points, some ideas that they should be able to, I don't expect for them to take down notes or anything, but I think it's a visually or from through voice, they should be able to get certain ideas to take back to their respective company. So in that light, please make sure that you have that you need to create that effect, right? If you look at it in that context, what I can establish is the critical slide for you is the slide bringing back to the business, because you may have a challenge to shortlist the critical business practices. Maybe you have 6 or 7 of them, but to shortlist 1 or 2 is a challenge. But I believe in terms of the presentation, the most important slide is how well you articulate the execution. Because if you are using a tool, you can't just say, I use this tool. right? But we like to see, because the audience is also business practitioners. So therefore, they also are familiar with some of these things. So they would like to see how well you executed, what is the difference in your execution as well as their execution in real world. So then only they can take something back to their businesses. So I would suggest, if you can create that effect among the audience and most importantly among the judges, I think then you can score better marks. But you can't stop there. Now, as I told you, bringing back to the business is the critical slide. I'm not saying others are not so, but this is where you are going to really show the execution part. So that aspect need to be sorted out. But then in the following slide, the output and outcome is all about building believability of what you said. So building believability of what you said is something you need to have hard evidence. Now, if you have executed best practice 1 or 2 and you have articulated the execution of it well, but we need to see if it is in financial terms, you have to show certain profitability or financial incremental performance factors. If it is a human resource aspect, we need to show human HR engagement index or whatever. If it is a, we'll say overall equipment efficiency, OEE, then it need to be showing how well that you have the OEE sorted out, then how it has enhanced the productivity. So likewise, if you don't show that in that slide, the believability, whatever you said in the previous slide is going to be negated. So therefore, you need to ensure those 2 points in that context, the way I see. If you have done that, I think you have done your part well. Then I think rest is as if you can execute as Dr. Ratnayaka, I think that is then I think it will be fine. I wish you all the best for all of you, and I'm looking forward to meet you and see your presentations very effectively, looking at it. And once again, my final thought is, don't forget the audience. The audience should take something back to their businesses. That is a contribution that you are making in this whole exercise. Over to you, Dr. Ratnayak.
So thank you, Dr. Ravi. So that's fascinating. So your insights are wonderful. Before I open up the Q&A, Dr. Ravi, I thought just to ask one, this is off the cup, it came to my mind. Since you have done so many presentations and you have taken part in many evaluations and so on, particularly at higher strategic level presentations, can you highlight 1 or 2 distinct features you have regularly experienced at a higher level with top teams and so on?
Yeah. Now, it's a very good question. Now, my personal experience in presenting to director level or operational level people, I will say, if I conducted a research study, if I go to present it to a company knows their business in and out. Company knows their business in and out. So in that light, as an outsider, if I am going to talk something, I should match their thinking capacity, right? Now, if you match that only, they start building confidence in what you say, right? So therefore, now in this case, you are much more better because you are talking about your own company's performances. But the most important part is the person who is presenting should have, he is not just a mouthpiece. He or she is not just a mouthpiece who we can read from the body language that the person is passionately got involved in this transformation. So find such people to come and make this presentation, because if that happens, automatically the audience are going to read the body language and then they start liking the comments that you make. I hope, Dr. Ratnayaka, can you remember we came across some such people in the process? Now, yeah. I'm obviously what I'm trying to say is, obviously you may have the chairman or the CEO in here, but you please make sure that people who really got involved with the transformation, because when you make a new change, then there is a resistance. How you manage the resistance, how you mitigated the resistance. So that kind of aspects, I think, need to be there. If that is there, then you have the buy-in from the audience. Over to you, Dr.
All right, that's wonderful. I think that's a good start for us to open up for Q&A. Thank you very much. If there are certain other additional points come out at the end, you can add. This is 4:46. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to get some clarifications done. Please raise your questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ratnayaka. This is Montini from LOLC. I would like to ask you 3 questions here.
Please go ahead.
From the explanation that you gave, I understood that the second presentation could be made by we did with 3 panelists the presentation, and my plan was, even before this discussion, to have 3 fresh faces who got operationally involved in this in our process to present it. So is it a permissible thing? My question 1.
Presentation party-wise, if there are 3 representatives coming from the company, I think CPM does not have any restriction. Am I right, Mr. Dishan?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are in
responsible 3 representatives, but one should lead. One should lead where
Understood.
He or she is the person who is probably, of course, you are wearing a formal attire, and in the audience at the stage with Dr. Bamnusinghe, that circle. So that and other 2 can join, and I would like to I would say give us my suggestion, my opinion. One who has done in the second presentation and 2 other probably would be ideal. That because person knows the setup, type of questions, and the rhythm flow that you can have a look at.
Thank you, Doctor. And my second question is that on this day at Cinnamon, will there be another Q&A for our panelists?
That's a good question. I think common to all. I would say one good in terms of your presentation, no questions. No questions. It is the MC would invite Dr. Bamnusinghe to take the chair, and the 6 company representatives and the alphabetical order. Then the panel would be there. Probably I would just remind on invitation of Dr. Bamnusinghe what the process we have taken in like 2 minutes. So then straight away the first company finish. So he would like wrap up, because by this time 24th, by that time, because your 6 presentations should be uploaded to the computer, because those 6 presentations should be there or no before Mr. Dilshan would take in charge on that. So therefore no Q&A. Presentation done. You sit down and waiting for the next one. Like that it will go 6 at a stretch. So that's the session from 1:30 to 3:15.
Understood. Thank you, Doctor. And final question is that we came up for the 10 minutes. We came up with 7 slides. We had a timing. We had a exact timing on each slide and each presenter. So now with the understanding of this conversation, so we might even reduce this number of slides. Is it permissible, the content of the slides and the number of slides?
Thank you for that wonderful question. Now here we have not included or excluded anything here. What we have shown and what we are now sharing with you after this, the same thing in a much more structured, in a practical manner for a larger audience to understand, because what is available in the oral presentation is all about company, emerge situation, practice, your output of your execution, bringing back to business, output, outcome, sustainability. That's it. So that is what the measurement criteria. Now, since you are presenting to a fresh panel, since they have not gone through your synopsis, and you have to make a case, that's why we are giving you additional 5 minutes. That means 15 minutes. So in that 15 minutes, some of the slides, what you have done, you need to arrange, rearrange, number of slides up to you. If you can manage within time, even 40 slides, we don't mind. But the point is how pictorially, how craftily, how meticulously you are getting these slides like what you have done in your business. So think like you are presenting this to your same board of management, because they want to know the crisp points. So the same way as Dr. Bamnu Singh also said, the inclusion of your slides, it's your call, because this is a other than your general recognition, the 6 companies are having a different experience in this platform. So therefore, it's your creativity, it's your thinking, novelty, all that. That's what the long answer I gave.
Understood, Doctor. Thank you very much for the clarity that you have given. So hope to meet all the finalists on the day. Thank you very much.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Right, thank you. Any more questions, please?
Good afternoon, Dr. Ratnayaka. I'm Anuruddha Gamage from Kalanivali Plantations
yes,
and Hales.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bamnu Singh, as well. The in-depth elaboration on the presentation guidelines and so on. But just one clarification. I think you just mentioned that. I think we must deal with Mr. Dilshan from that for that point. I think my question is that, of course, that we'll have to send our presentations well before the CPM. So, what is the deadline? Like, are you all announcing now?
Probably I need to ask from Mr. Dilshan, what is the ideal time?
Yeah, 23rd, we can allow up to 23rd, 3 o'clock, because we need to, you know, that see the technical possibility and avoid last minute technical errors and all. So therefore, I request you all to submit your presentations by 3 o'clock on 23rd.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dilshan. Thank you, Dr. Ratnayaka. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Other questions, please? Questions, comments, views? Right. Seems to be no questions. Right. So then I think we should not drag on. If there are no other questions and clarity matters, any final concluding remarks from Dr. Ravi? Anything that you like to add?
Now, I think you mentioned that earlier also. Now, we call it a baton change. I think try your best to make the baton change very smooth, because it doesn't look nice in an audience of this level or this scale. So that means there should be cohesiveness between the two the presenters beforehand, and that cohesiveness is well articulated in that context. I think will have a greater effect, because at the end of the day it is a performance. So we need to have a we have to orchestrate the performance in that context. I think that's about all. I think all the rest, into my knowledge, is being discussed.
Right. So thank you, Dr. Bamnu Singh. Even just reminding again, so when you are submitting your presentation, at the same time, very clearly, out of those 3 members, who is taking the leading role, I think that should be informed to Mr. Dilshan, because that person, that representative, I would say, male or female, have a formal attire and all sitting in the stage with the in that panel, because there are 7 seats that Dr. Bamnu Singh would chair in the session, and there are 6 other representatives. So you are sitting there, at the same time, when you are starting at the time of, according to the alphabetical order of these 6 companies, where I think first A letter company would start, then B, C, D, E. I think second one is Dilshan will remember the alphabetical order. What are the English letters?
Yeah.
Then
A, I, K, L, O, the
S.
lineup.
Yeah, A, I, K, O,
L, O, S.
L, O, S, right. So then, so that's the kind of order.
So I have a small thing that would mention, because the better the company representative, anyone from the company can come and double check the technical the presentation, the things while we are in the lunch, because this is we are doing the post-lunch session. So the best thing is anyone who is come and, because we are having the technical team at there. So it will not display at the screen, but you can double check.
You can check the slide change and so on.
Yeah, exact. The presentation what you have submitted in there, or to make sure. So we, all the technical errors.
Right. Okay.
So we have, yeah. So between 12:30 to 1:30, you can. Best thing is 12:30 to 1. Say we can double check the technical.
Right. So that's also good. So then, Dishan, I think we can wind up it in another 1 or 2 minutes time. But before that, any other?
Yeah,
Yes?
Dr. Monty here again.
Yeah, please.
Mr. Dilshan mentioned that the technical support or technical assistance that we could check beforehand. Is it permissible for us to have another device apart from the devices that CPM is going to have? Maybe I don't know, any other device that could be useful for our presentation? Is it permissible?
Device in the sense of what sort of device you are meaning?
It could be a timer. It could be some effects. Anything else?
Timer anyway there, so you can see all the it's in the screen, as well as to see the presenters. We have LED time counter there.
Maybe
so
we whether we could have handheld devices for our own timing and the 3 presenters. Is it permissible?
Permissible. I would request you to anyway keep your personal time factor. You can keep by the side, but anyway, because when you are standing, if it is a stage like this, the main timer is counting, so that it's quite visible. You can see that you have to stick on that, and because after 15 minutes, it is getting either red color or being disappeared. So that means a message comes from Dr. Bhavanu Singh, your time is up. So then,
understood. Yeah.
Very embarrassing. You need to run, let's say, last 5 slides or 3 slides. It is not going to work. And the panelists also would look at your non-preparedness kind of a feature.
Understood, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So in that sense, back to Mr. Dilshan, you can wrap up.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samant Ratnayaka, and also Dr. Ravi Bhavanu Singh. Despite your busy schedules, you are here today for your wonderful insights, which may help to improve the quality of our company presentations. So, the ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the presence here today. All our good wishes with you for the final round to be the best of the best, right? Then looking forward to seeing you, your great story at the conference on. So signing off from here. Have a pleasure evening. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dilshan.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Doctor.